Hello and welcome to Southern Belle Beauty. I am so excited that you decided to try Seint, and I'm gonna try my best to go through all of the products that I use every day and how I use them, how I apply my creams. I'm gonna touch a little bit on the brushes just to kind of give you a base knowledge of Seint. And of course, if you have any questions, feel free to message me or call me. There's also a ton of great resources online for Seint. So if you have a specific problem, then you could just Google it real quick, and honestly, you will probably find the answer. And if not, I have a whole team of ladies behind me that have been doing this a lot longer than me, and they know all the tips and tricks. So first off, skincare. So with cream makeup, our products do not work well with silicones. So if any of your skincare has silicones in them, then you may find that your creams slip around on your face. So what I recommend is to try, I love our skincare, and I can share just a little bit about what I do. But I always recommend when you first try your Seint, when it comes in, try it with your normal skincare. See how it holds up. You may be fine. It may stick just fine, and you may not have any issues. But if you do have an issue, first step is to add in a primer. This is my favorite. It's the Milk Hydro Grip Primer. Sorry, I can't get a good read on it, but they have it at Sephora. It's also on Amazon. It's a really tacky primer, almost kind of feels like aloe vera. This is like the Target version. It's by e.l.f. and it's a Power Grip primer. It's pretty good too. I think that this one's better, but it's total personal preference. Both of these are silicone free, and they work great with our makeup. So if your makeup is slipping around, if you feel like it's not sticking, try a primer. If that is not enough, I highly recommend our skincare. I absolutely love it. Prior to using Seint, I was really feeling my age. I was getting lots of fine lines and wrinkles. I still have lots of fine lines and wrinkles. This is not a miracle cure for aging, right? Like, we're all going to age. But my skin didn't react well to all the anti-aging type products. But Seint, I really like the way my skin feels with Seint. It's simple. The ingredients are simple. They are all listed on our website. You can very easily look up why they are in our products. I actually have some graphics on that if you're interested. And I have very sensitive skin, so anti-aging products they irritate my skin. I love our Seint products. I personally use our cleanser, and this is gross because it's what I use every day. But I use our cleanser in the morning. At nighttime, I wash my face with literally a Dove bar of soap. I am a boy mom. I am very active. I'm outside a lot, and I need a really good clean at the end of the day. Like, I want my face clean. So I use the Dove exfoliating bar of soap, and then I follow up with my Seint skincare. So after I use that, I use our Seint cream. It's got a really nice pump on the top, so you don't have to stick your finger in the product. I love it. I would say it's not as heavy as a night cream, but it's heavier than a normal daytime lotion, which I love. So in the daytime, when I apply it, in the morning, I wash my face with this cleanser. It's not as heavy of a cleanser, or it's not going to strip your skin of natural oils. It's a lighter cleanse. So I use that in the morning, and I just use a touch of our cream, and then I go in with my primer. So they always recommend using your moisturizer 15 or so minutes before you put your makeup on, just to allow the moisturizer to soak into your skin really well. I have done it right after, and it usually is fine as long as you use a primer. So this stuff right here is magic. Some people even use aloe vera, straight up aloe vera. So, but highly recommend a primer. So I've already washed my face today. I washed it with our cleanser, which, like I said, is like a light cleanse. One pump of the primer. I'm using the Milk Hydro Grip, and Here's the thing. We live in Florida with super high humidity. Like I said, I'm outside a lot. So the likelihood of me sweating some of my makeup off or accidentally wiping it off or whatever is pretty likely. So all the things that I can do to help my makeup stick better to my skin, I'm doing them because, why not make it last longer? So cleaned my face, primed my face. Now I'm gonna go in with my compact. So when your tins come in, all you do is you slip the little, and my lids are already off, but slip the little lids off your tins and they snap right into your compact. So you can organize your compact however you'd like. I have all of my foundations and contours and my bronzers and my powder and my lip balm all in the top. That's like my essentials layer, right? And then the second layer, I have my illuminators, and I only keep 6 eyeshadows in my palette. So I have found I am a very rough person. I have dropped my palette 500 times. My kids have knocked it off the counter. So I have quite the plethora of eyeshadows, but I keep all of my eyeshadows together in a separate, like, smaller palette. And I only pull it out like when I'm doing a special eye look or something. But I only keep my everyday eyeshadows in my palette because our eyeshadows are more susceptible to break if you drop your palette. So number one tip is to put them in put the ones that you want to keep in your palette in the center. See how mine's 3 layers? Put it in the center just to add a little bit more drop protection. And then only keep your essential ones in here. And then the rest of them you could keep in a smaller palette or something in your makeup counter or your bathroom counter. That way, if you're carrying your palette with you, which I do all the time, I usually just keep it in my purse. If you drop it, you've only got a couple in there. You're not gonna bust all of your eyeshadows you've collected over the course of the last few months. And then my last level are all of my lip and cheeks. And that is it. So we're gonna start with our highlight and contour. So you'll find if you're totally new to cream makeup, people call this their HAC, highlight and contour, HAC. I personally apply my makeup with a brush. I do not use a finger. A lot of people apply their cream makeup with a finger. My opinion on that is you're gonna use too much product. With cream makeup, you need way less than you do with like liquids. So you're more likely to gouge a whole bunch with your finger than using a brush that was formulated to pick up cream makeup. So I always recommend the 3D brush to new clients because it gives the most range of coverage. You could really do light coverage, but it's designed for medium to full coverage. This end is perfect for applying your contour or your brightening shade. This end is perfect for literally everything else. Picking up your main shade, blending everything out. I always keep a microfiber towel. It comes with our skincare collection, or paper towel with my makeup, and I just brush or lightly clean my makeup brush off before I start applying my makeup. We have this really handy cleanser. It's a brush cleanser. It's a spray. You can spray it onto the brush bristles themselves, or you can spray it onto a towel and just swirl the brush around. It cleans your brush and you can use it immediately. It dries instantly. This stuff is magic. I absolutely love it. We also have a new brush cleanser out. I just got mine in, and it's more of a deep clean. So this is something you want to do like once a week. And our other cleaning option, it comes in a little tub and it's got kind of a scrubby thing. It's more of a hard soap. That's a deeper clean. And you actually use water. So it's a soap and water cleaning system. You want to use that like once a month. So, but keeping your brushes clean is important for the way it picks up the product, the way it smooths out on your face, and just for keeping blemishes at bay. So this is the 3D brush. I am going to go in with my contour color, which is Astoria. So contour is what spooks a lot of my new customers. Before using Seint, I never used contour. didn't really know what it was. Like, I thought it was a Kim Kardashian thing and that was it. Like, I don't even know. But watched a couple videos, tried it out, and I love it. I have not ever been one to have really defined facial features. And I feel like it kind of gives me the illusion of those like Native American cheekbones that are just beautiful to me. My mom has them, my sister has them, and I don't. Like, I'm very round. So it kind of gives the effect of there's a cheekbone in there. So don't be scared of contour. You don't have to use very much. You don't have to use it at all if you don't like it. I'm going to show you how I use it, and then I'll give you some tips of how some other ways you can use it. All right, so I'm going to tap in with the pointed end of my 3D brush. Just tap it a couple of times. I'm going to feel for my cheekbone. So my cheekbone's like right here. So most people, a lot of people go under their cheekbone. We're going to go on top. If you go under your cheekbone, you're accentuating what's there, which is great. But if you go on top, especially for, you know, women of my age, you're lifting it up. You're essentially giving yourself a little bit of a lift. So I'm going to feel for my cheekbone and I'm going to actually draw it on top. So you're going to start kind of at the top of your ear and draw diagonally on top of your cheekbone about to the corner of your eye. So you could make a little dot if you wanted to, but we're going to go right here on top of our cheekbone. Okay, I'm going to tap in a little bit more. And it's just kind of a thicker line. I do have some customers that use a more chiseled brush and they have a more defined line. This is how I do it, and I think it works just fine. So we're going to start at the top of our ear, remember, and angle down along your cheekbone. Don't go past your eye. So we're just going to draw a line, and you can see it is not perfect. Sometimes I accidentally go too far, but at the end of the day, you're going to blend it out. So this is just creating a shadow on your face and kind of giving you an illusion of more depth right there on your face. We're going to do the same thing right here. We'll draw kind of a rainbow on our forehead, bring our forehead down just a little bit. And I know for some ladies, they're like, wow, why is my contour color so dark? That totally doesn't match my face. Make sure on this part you go under your jawline. Don't go on top or you will have a 5 o'clock shadow. We don't want that. We want to go under our jawline. And I just kind of like that this slims your neckline or your area right here just a little bit. Anyway, so your contour color is darker because it's darker and it's cooler because its goal is to create shadows. You're not necessarily matching any skin tone on your face. So, and you don't need much. If you like a more chiseled look, you can go back and add some more, but that's basically it. Some people like to contour their nose. I do not typically do this, but for the purpose of this video, I will show you how I have done it in the past. You can just tap in with your finger. This is a time where I do use my finger. And then I rub my 2 fingers together, and you want to go on top of your nose. So you can literally start like at the base of your eyebrow and draw a line on the top of your nose. And it's literally just going to create a tiny shadow. I have a very red nose. So I don't ever contour my nose because I feel like I need more coverage on my nose. I don't know. I use my main shade and then I actually put my brightener on top of it to just conceal some of that redness. So, but this is how a lot of people, they can just do it with their fingers. You could also use a more, a narrower edged brush, like our multitasker brush or something like that. And you could draw your lines that way. All right, so next up, we're gonna go into our main shade. For me, it's amber. So I have my main shade and my brightener right next to each other. And you can see they're a couple of shades apart. This is my main shade and this is my brightener. Ooh, my brush is dirty. So when we're picking your colors, we're looking at the darkest tones in your face. For instance, if you have any melasma or sunspots, things like that. And then we're gonna look at the brighter spots of your face and kind of choose 2 tones that complement each other. that will kind of create a natural lighted look, or like I feel like it almost gives the appearance of like a beautiful spotlight being on your face. Because you kind of start at the darkest colors on the outside of your face, and it gets lighter and brighter as you get to the inside of your face. So people focus on your features. And my goal as a Seint artist, like, I don't want people to look at my customers and say, wow, she has such beautiful makeup. When people look at you, I want them to say, wow, she is so beautiful. Like, I want the focus to be on the person. So the goal is for your makeup to accentuate your natural beauty, which is why I love Seint so much. So anyway, we're going to use the fluffier end of the 3D brush and tap into our main shade. Mine is Amber. I'm literally just going to tap, tap, tap. And I start at the bottom. I have lots of friends today. And I swipe on. I do that, tap, tap, tap again. I go ahead and swipe because instead of like dotting all over my face and then blending it out, I just kind of blend the main shade as I go. I find it to be easier that way. Now, you can tap it on. You can swipe, however feels most normal to you. It's gonna blend very easily. Whenever you pick up your product, if you feel like it is too stiff and it's not blending well, you can grab your hair dryer and just hit it for a second with your hair dryer. And just like butter, it'll warm up and it'll be more, it'll be easier to blend out or to pick up on your brush. So you'll find that this makeup is not going to like crazy cover your blemishes. With cream makeup, we go back and cover our blemishes after, rather than concealing them along the way. So I've put my main shade all right here on my forehead. I put it here along my cheek, on the bottom of my cheek, both sides, and then I'm gonna do a little bit on either side of my nose. Then I'm going to go in and I'm just gonna wipe my brush off just a tad bit, just to get some of that main shade off. And it's not a huge deal if you don't get it all off, because it's your color, it matches your face. If there's a little bit mixed in with your brightener, that's okay. I'm gonna tap into my brightener and I'm gonna go down the center of my face. So right here in between my eyebrows, on my nose. Now my contour is there, so if you want a more precise, you could go in with your finger and do a more precise line. I'm gonna blend mine out a ton because, like I said, I'm not a huge nose contour person. On your chin, and then some people put it right here. Now listen, if you have peach fuzz, I have lots of peach fuzz on my face, especially in this area. Avoid placing too much cream products where you have peach fuzz. It's going to accentuate those hairs. So I don't usually place product there, and then I usually wipe off whatever ended up there because I don't want to accentuate the hairs. So it's totally personal preference, but that's just a tip from me. I also am going to tap into my brightener, and I'm going to use this other brush, and I can't remember what it's called for the moment. I will think about it. This end is great to apply contour if you like a really harsh, like stark line. And I love this end for my brightener. So I'm going to tap into my brightener, and I like to use a smaller brush for my brightener around my eye. You don't have to. You can use your finger if you would like. But in areas where you have fine lines and wrinkles, don't apply too much product, because too much product is going to accentuate those fine lines and wrinkles. You could even, some people put their brightener on their eyelid area to kind of filter out, see the difference in like the redness, just to kind of filter some of that out, and then it can kind of serve as an eyeshadow base. All right, so this is my 3D makeup all on, not yet blended. So You could go ahead and do your lip and cheek and then blend. I do it this way. I put on my highlights and my contours, then I blend, then I do lip and cheek. I think it gives, I don't know, it gives you a little bit more coverage on your cheeks that way. So totally up to you, but that's how I do it. So I'm gonna start by blending my forehead. I'm just going to swipe the contour kind of back and forth and blend it into the hairline. But like I said, I applied this stuff with a brush, so it's already blended pretty well. The biggest areas that need blending are your contour. So your contour along your neckline, you just want to swipe back and forth and pull down. You want to pull that shadow down your neck, and it's just going to give like a slimming effect on your neck. And then here, you want to blend it up towards your hairline and towards the top of your face. And that's just going to give that lifted cheekbone effect. Now, I don't totally blend my contour out before I add my lip and cheek. I just blend it out a touch. And then I add my lip and cheek. So I'm going to wipe my brush off just a bit and look at some of the areas of my brightener. Now, when you swipe your creams, you're gonna move them around more than when you tap. So if you want like a more full coverage, tap it on when you blend. If I'm in a hurry, I swipe because it's quicker, but it could move your product around more than if you were to just tap. All right, so that is everything mostly blended out. Then I'm gonna add my lip and cheek. Today I'm going to use, let's see. I'm gonna use Pink Lemonade. I don't know why. I usually use nude, but today I'm gonna use Pink Lemonade because it's fun. And it's a fun springy color. It doesn't take a whole lot. I am not a huge pink person, so what I'll do is I'll do one tap on each side of this beautiful baby pink. And then I'm gonna go into my nude and just pick up a touch of it and add some of that to the back of it. And that'll just kind of tone it down just a touch, but still give me that pretty springy pink color. Now, typically I blend my lip and cheeks out with a different brush because I don't want to pick those pinks up in my brush and then accidentally put them all over my face. So I usually use the blush and bronzer brush for that. I use the smaller end to blend out my lip and cheek, and I use the fluffier end for my powder. So I'm gonna blend out my lip and cheek. I'm just gonna tap. You could swirl. This will really blend the colors together really well. I'm gonna kind of do a little bit of both. I do have quite a bit of sunspots and scarring on my cheek line. So sometimes it looks kind of funny with my contour. You can kind of see, oh, it looks like she might have missed some, but it's actually just sunspots. Or scarring, really. It's probably mostly scarring from picking at my face. Worst thing that you can do is to pick at your face. And I am a stress picker. It's not good. All right, so blended out cheeks. Nice and pretty. It's like a subtle pink, not too bright. Here, I'm gonna brighten this up and see if you can see a little better. You can go back in and soften your contour if you'd like. And that is my lip and cheek. So now let's say you wanted to add some bronzer. I'm gonna show you, I'm not gonna add too much today, but I'm gonna show you where to add your bronzer. So this is my bronzer. I keep it right next to my contour. I have two different ones. This is Heat Waves, this is Bella. Bella is great for pretty much any skin tone. Heat Waves are for my darker ladies. Heat Waves is also really pretty as a nude lip and cheek. It's just like kind of a reddish bronzy color. But I'm gonna tap my finger into my Bella and I'm gonna add just a couple of touches here. I'm not gonna do much because like I said, I don't need a whole lot today. And then you can also add a couple of touches around the perimeter of your forehead, kind of just wherever naturally the sun would hit. So just in your cheek area and then around the perimeter of your forehead, and just blend that out. Another area that I love to add bronzer is on my neck. So if you need a little bit of, say your chest is way darker than your face, you can kind of blend it together by adding some bronzer to your neck. A lot of people also use our bronzer as kind of a false spray, like a false tan. They just tap into it and lightly put it all over their face before they do their highlight and contour. It's really up to you how you want to use it. So now all of my HAC is on. My highlights, both of my highlights, my contour, and my lip and cheek are all on. So with cream makeups, you have to set your makeup. I know this is not necessarily necessary for everybody. Some people like just a setting powder, which will give you a more matte finish. Some people like just a setting spray, which will give you a more dewy finish. In Florida, I recommend both. It is so humid and so sticky all the time. Do both. You will not regret it. I love our setting spray. I do. I don't love the sprayer. I think it's kind of a harsh spray, but it doesn't bother my skin. Now, this setting spray by Charlotte Tilbury is fantastic. I feel like it has the most gentle spray. It gives you a really natural spray all over your face. Doesn't really hit you hard. It lasts excellent, probably a little better than Seint. But it makes my face a little irritated. It makes it tingle a little bit. And I've used it several times. Anytime you use a new product, it's gonna make your face, it's gonna feel, more than likely, it's gonna feel different. You need to give your face like a week or so of use to acclimate to the products, whether it be new makeup, new skincare, new setting spray, whatever it is. But something in this bothers my skin a little bit. I still use it sometimes if I really need an all day like crazy hold, but I just don't like the way it makes my skin feel. So that's my little tidbit of advice on setting spray. You could take a risk on this. I have super sensitive skin. It's probably not going to affect you like that. But I love our Seint setting spray. I'm gonna give you a tip. When you spray your face, don't like barely try to squeeze it, because then it is gonna come out. Let me see if I can get it on camera. If you spray it like really slow, it's gonna come out like a water gun, literally. But if you commit and you just like spray it hard, it's gonna give you a nice, beautiful spray. It's gonna, instead of coming out in one stream, it's gonna go all over your whole face. So that's what we're gonna do. You're gonna hold it back. If you've never used setting spray, this seems silly, but I had never used setting spray, so this is important to me. Hold it back from your face, and you just wanna spray your face. You spray your face 2 times, you spray your face 4 times, whatever, until you feel like your whole face is wet from the setting spray. Such an odd concept to me, right? Like, let's spray our face with this wet stuff to make our makeup last, but it really works. And with cream makeup, it's essential that you set it. So I've set my makeup and with the setting spray, but then I'm gonna go back in with our setting powder. Our setting powder is very finely milled. I have always leaned towards loose powders, and I love a loose powder. But I have grown to really like our powder, mostly because of the convenience, honestly. I love that it's in the compact, and if I'm on the go doing my makeup, I will just skip the setting spray and just put powder all over my face. But I think that our powder has a really great moisture control. We also have these really handy little, and I only use them in summertime, but the little shine papers. It's kind of like, I think Neutrogena had some when we were in high school that you use to kind of absorb oil throughout the day without moving your makeup. But I feel like our powder does a really good job of that. And then the neat thing about it is throughout the day, if you do find that you get shiny in one place or another and you don't like how shiny you are, it's in your compact and it's tiny, probably in your purse. You can grab it, tap into it, and add a little bit more powder wherever you need to. Now, our powder brush is not going to pick up a ton of powder. So when you tap into it, you can see it's not like a crazy coverage. I'm just going to do it in my T-zone. I have seen a lot of artists use these little powder pads. If you would like a heavier, you know, if you would like more powder on your face, you could use the little powder pads. But I just do it in my T-zone. I use the fluffy end of my brush, and it basically is just gonna hold your makeup into place longer. Now, your makeup is completely on and set. I totally forgot to do illuminator, but here are my favorite illuminators. We have Georgia Photoshop Rose Gold, which is a cream illuminator, Confetti, and Glow. These two are also cream illuminators. So our cream illuminators are, I feel like, more subtle. Our powder illuminators are gonna pack more of a glamorous punch. Typically, I would just do a cream illuminator for an everyday look, but I'm gonna use a little bit of Photoshop today. It's got like a little bit of a pink touch to it, since I used a little bit of that pink lemonade, and it's a very minimal pink, but I'm gonna use the fluffy end of my blush and bronzer, which is the same brush that I used to blend out my lip and cheek, and I'm gonna tap into it just once. It picks up kind of a lot. And just tap it on the upper part of my cheekbone. One more time. Same thing on the other side. And then whatever's left on my brush, I'm just gonna kind of brush it along the upper corners of my face. Some people put illuminator on the tip of their nose. Some people put it on their Cupid's bow, and it kind of adds like a little bit of a uplift look for your upper lip. But yeah, I love illuminator. I never used it until I used Seint, and to me, it's so pretty. I don't know, it's beautiful. And it adds a touch of just like shimmer and dimension wherever you put it. So that is my entire hack. If I wanted to, I could go in my same palette and tap into some of my eyeshadow colors. I'm gonna quickly show you guys my favorite eyeshadow brushes. This is the smudge brush. Mine is filthy. I need to clean it. This is one end, and this is the other. It's a little fluffier and lighter. It is great for when it's clean. It is great for the smaller areas, for your brightening highlight. It's also great for your eyeshadow. I use it for my eyeshadow all the time. Some people use it for their contour if they like really sharp lines. But that's the smudge brush. It's great. And then the eyeshadow brush has you can tell it has much longer bristles. So at first I was like, oh my gosh, how am I gonna be able to do that? But it creates a more natural eyeshadow look, I feel like. So whenever you're doing things on your brow bone, it's a lighter look. It's not as harsh of lines. It blends out softer. And then the other end is a little bit tighter, so you can do more detail work. So those are my two favorite eyeshadow brushes. I showed you guys the 3D brush and the blush and bronzer brush. This is the buff brush. So this is my favorite brush for when I'm doing a more full face or I want more full coverage. You can kind of see the different, it's dirty also because I use it a lot. This is a more full coverage. So the bristles are shorter, much shorter than the 3D brush, and they're on an angle. So it allows you to get like a really sharp, I don't really know how to explain it. It allows you to get more product on by kind of packing it on. That sounds weird, but it's a great brush. If you want like a more glamorous full coverage look, I always recommend the buff brush. This is one of my favorite brushes. I use it absolutely all the time. It's called the multitasker brush, I believe. I'm pretty certain it's called the multitasker brush, and mine is dirty because I use it all the time. So it's super dirty. I'm trying to wipe it off a little bit, but this is what it looks like. So all the words are like worn off. So it's got a pointy, more detailed end. I use this end to cover blemishes, which I'll show you in just a second. I also use it to line my lips. It's also great if you like to do like super detailed, maybe like a line look or something on your eyes. But I mostly use it for blemishes and lining my lips. This end is a flatter longer bristles, and I usually use this in for my lips. So if I was to do a lip look, I would, and I didn't want to tap my finger into my lip and cheek, especially like those bolder colors like reds, you want to use a brush because it'll just give you a more defined look. Now, I'm not going to hide all my blemishes on my face because I just am not one to do that. But I will show you quickly how to conceal a blemish with cream makeup. So once your makeup is totally done, you can tap into whatever shade, wherever the blemish is, think about what shade you put there. So here was my main shade. So I'm going to use my multitasker brush. I'm going to tap like the lightest amount. And then you just tap it onto the blemish. And I may have even had too much. I'm going to wipe a little bit off of my brush. And you just tap it out. So all this is going to do is conceal color. You're still going to have the texture, but it just, instead of your eyes being drawn to that spot on my mouth, now you don't really see it unless you get super up close. So it just kind of conceals the color. So you want to do that after you've blended your makeup out, because if you do it before, then when you blend your makeup out, you might over blend in that spot and just kind of ruin all that work you just did. So once you have the product on and you're happy with the coverage, like if you're happy with how much the color's concealed, I like to tap my finger into my setting powder and just tap it right on top. And that'll kind of set that blemish, set the cream on top of the blemish. And that's it. So from here moving forward, all you need is some mascara and you're good to go. So that is like my pretty detailed beginner's guide to Seint makeup. I hope that this was helpful. I'm so excited for you to try it. It's been such a fun journey for me. I'm a boy mom, so I do all the boy things all the time. So I had a really hard time when I became a mom because I really felt guilty for spending time on myself. And obviously I just spent a ton of time showing you how to do this. But once you have used it for a while and you get into the rhythm of it, it's so simple, and since it's all in one spot, it doesn't take much time at all, and that's what I love about it. So as a boy mom, like, it's kind of my own little girl gang, you know, all of my girlfriends that I get to talk to about girly stuff, and I really enjoy it. So please, always, always, always feel comfortable reaching out. If you have any questions, if you need some troubleshooting help, something's not working, reach out to me. Don't be afraid to try different combinations of things. Don't be afraid to switch things up. Anytime you try new products, it's going to take a little while. Like, there will be a learning curve. It's going to take a little while for your skin to get used to it, for you to get used to it. And that's kind of what I'm here for. So I am here as a guide, and I hope that you love it. But if you don't love it, it's totally okay. So don't ever feel like, and no pressure, like no pressure at all. If you ever need to initiate a return, if you ever need to initiate an exchange, feel free to reach out to me. Like, I totally want to help. That's what I'm here for. So if you have any questions, feel free. But otherwise, I'm super excited for you guys to give it a go. And I hope that you love it as much as I do.